Now, with fuel prices continuing to increase, we're all starting to feel the pinch a wee bit, but there are a few simple ways to help you get more miles to your gallon.
We're joined now by Neil Adley from Trusted Dealers, who have just published the Hypermiling Handbook with all the advice you need to get more out of your tank. Neil, welcome to the show. It's something that we all, certainly over the last year, have been stressing about, is fuel prices. My sister will kill me. We were all out for Hogmanay and we'd all had a wee bit to drink and we were all crying about absent friends that weren't here, and my sister broke down in tears and we thought she was crying over someone that had passed away, but it was apparently because of petrol prices at Hogmanay. So she had a wee bit of a cry to herself, Lindsay.
I know that feeling.
You know that feeling, but it really has affected some, especially for your family. I mean,
Sure.
It's another big chunk of your income because the prices are through the roof.
Yeah, and some people are choosing not to take holidays in the UK because they can't travel all the distance they need to, and it affects people both at home and at work. You know, we're saying to people, get on your bike in effect and try and get a job, but at the same time we're making it almost impossible for them to travel.
You have to say, I mean, the holiday I just went on, it was a driving holiday and filled the tank twice, and that was like 2 separate kicks to the stomach. I was in tears, let me tell you.
Really, it's
so
so
I'm keen to hear your tips on how to cut
Sure.
back.
But there are ways, of course, that we can save money on fuel. You've got kind of 5 tips for us to go through. One of the ones I found really interesting was the first one, which is emptying out your boot. I mean, mine looks like a jungle. I've got high heels, everything in there.
Sure.
That really does make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, when you've got your car boot full of stuff, whether it's a snow shovel in the summer or whatever...
Well, we can see it here. I mean, look at that car boot.
This guy, he's going to have a big bill.
Yeah.
You've got to...
To be fair, he works for Argos.
Yeah, you've got to think, all that stuff in the boot, you're paying to move all that around the country as you're driving to work or going to visit friends and family. So it makes sense to have a good clear out, kind of like you would with your handbag every now and again. Make sure that
I need to do that too, thanks. That's 2 things I need to do tonight, the boot and the handbag. That's the boot. What about
Sure.
tyre pressure? Because, again, it's something I don't check because it's a yellow light, not a red light, so I leave it. But it's flashing. It's really important.
It's really
Look at your
important.
face, you're
I know,
upset. I'm not
horrified.
checking my tyre pressure.
Yeah, well, for 2 reasons. One is definitely around fuel economy, because if the tyre's not fully inflated, it's going to generate more friction, and that friction, to compensate for that, you're going to need to use more fuel to get the wheels spinning. The other thing is, for safety, you've got 4 handprints on the road, the tyres that are keeping you able to brake and also to manoeuvre the car, particularly in bad conditions. So you really do need to top up your tyres tonight, I think.
Oh, no,
Have to say, I'm guilty of that. I only check my tyre pressures when I'm going on a long drive, so that'll maybe be 3 or 4 times a year. I mean, how often really should you be checking tyre pressures?
A good tip I was given many years ago is to check your tyre pressure the first time you fill your tank every month, and that way I think you keep yourself safe.
Okay. Now, what about the speed that you drive at? Because we hear about this magical figure of 52.4 whatever miles an hour that is the best for fuel consumption. But I mean, what should we be doing about our speed?
I think the main thing is to drive smooth if you can. I think it's more about when you have to brake heavily and then accelerate later on. You're using up fuel all the time then. So I think that the key is to drive sensibly and smoothly rather than to try and hit a magic number. I think that the thing that people can do most easily is just try and anticipate what's going to happen next. So if the lights are changing half a mile down the road, you might as well ease off and let your momentum fall.
Slow down.
Exactly.
Something I'm very guilty of is anyone that knows when I kind of drive into STV's car park is my music is so loud. I've always got really loud, kind of fast, kind of dance music on.
Sure.
Is that the right thing to do? Does that intend to make you go faster?
I think there's a general view in there that if you've got high octane music, you're going to be putting your foot down.
Well, look at this guy here. I mean, I really need to meet this guy. I mean, look at him going for it. I mean, that's some metal and rock he's listening to. I mean, if you saw this guy on the road, you would just avoid him at all costs, wouldn't you?
I'm forever slapping my
but
steering wheel as well.
Look at this, classic. Look at him. He's so peace and, it's calm, and look at him just gliding about there.
It's true, you don't see guys hammering it listening to Classic FM, do you?
You don't see them hammering it, just doesn't
happen. Unless it's the
happen
Rise
that
of the
way.
Valkyries or something.
So again, this is not to encourage you to drive fast, as maybe not have loud kind of blaring
I
music.
think whenever you're driving, you need to think about what other external factors might contribute to you putting the foot to the floor. So choosing your music is probably part of that.
Can I be honest, I'm all for, obviously, the environment and cutting down on my bills, but do not make me listen to the music of Enya.
I love Enya!
Do not make me music... Oh, seriously, Michelle, don't make me come over there.
Maybe a spot with Val Dunican or something?
Right, we'll talk about Enya later on. Last but by no means, something you had a big problem with was obviously air conditioning.
Yeah, not the car I've got now, but the previous car. It was just drinking petrol, and I didn't know why. I took it to the mechanics, and he said, well, have you been using your AC? I said, only all the time. And he said, oh, that's actually a really big culprit for fuel consumption. And I hadn't made that correlation before.
Sure. Sure. Well, I'm old enough to remember when aircon was a luxury item on a car, but these days everybody's got it, and most people have it on all the time. Aircon uses your fuel really quite highly to keep the car cool. So if you can, instead of the aircon, just wind the window down and let nature take its course.
And just let some cool air come in.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I have to say, Neil, they're all very, very good tips, and I wish I'd known that 2 years ago. I bought a car with heated seats and spent a week driving around with my backside on fire because I couldn't find the button to put them off, and it drank all my petrol, but there you go, I now know. So I've got to clean out the boot tonight, do all the things you've told me. Thank you very much for all your very useful advice.
It's a pleasure.
And hopefully we'll see a big change in our petrol bills.